Yeah, okay, great. I am here to give what I call the State of the Station report, and it's a very short, compact explanation of some of the things that happened this year on an organizational level, and then we're going to get right into the awards. First off, again, what Chris was saying, we have a bunch of staff on BCTV, and I just want to make you aware of everybody behind the scenes that make things happen. We have Vlasta Popelka, our operations manager, back in the back. And Brian Bashad, who's our production manager. Noah Manager is our content manager. And then we also have field producers who are here. Austin is here. John Richards, Jay Shalino. Ian Keel is right here in the back. I'm missing Frederick Noyes, but I'm not missing Esler Rustin. And in the corner we have our IT guy, Tom Woodbury, because you know everybody needs an IT guy. I want to acknowledge our programming sponsors. These are underwriters who've been supporting us for many years. Brattleboro Savings and Loan underwrites our local programming. The Food Co-op underwrites our meeting videos, our local government videos, and the Retreat underwrites our studio shows. We also have sponsors for tonight's event. Vermont Films helped make possible the food that you're eating tonight. And Mondo Media Works is presenting the People's Choice Award and making a cash prize possible. And Luke Stafford is here from Mondo. Yay! I don't think Tim is here. No? Okay. So the title of my State of the Station report is called What Happened? For this year, because I think many of you saw in the headlines last December that we got some really dramatic news from the FCC about rules that were going to be changed that were going to affect the funding that supports public access stations all over the country. And I couldn't even walk around town. So many people were coming up to me and saying, what's happening? And I honestly didn't know how many supporters and viewers we had until these headlines came up. So I'm dubbing this the year of the threat, because we had threats on the national level, the state, and even on the local level. On the national level, there was a Supreme Court case, believe it or not, where a banned producer, a producer who was banned from putting content on the New York City station, went all the way to the Supreme Court arguing, and the argument was whether that station, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, is a public forum with guaranteed free speech, or whether it's a nonprofit that's allowed to have policies. The scary part was that one of the justices raised a side question of whether the carriage of pay programming violates the free speech of cable operators, because corporations are people, right? And fortunately, that side question wasn't taken up, and the Supreme Court sided with the station, but it doesn't mean it won't be taken up again. So my status is dodged for now. On the other federal action was this FCC rulemaking, which went into effect a couple of weeks ago. This changed the Cable Act rules by which cable companies pay franchise fees, and some of those franchise fees go to support public access television. This allows those cable companies to deduct the value of in-kind contributions that they're required to give. And those values can be whatever they make. So we won't actually know what the impact is until November, but we are dependent for 75% of our income on those Comcast cable subscriber fees that local subscribers pay. So this is a big deal for us. On the state level, Comcast has a certificate of public good to operate in the state of Vermont. When they renewed that CPA, CPG 2 years ago, it had conditions that Comcast did not like. So they took the state to court. And 2 years later, we finally have that settlement. And this is information that I wasn't able to share with you even at the annual meeting a couple of weeks ago, which was that PEG channels, our channels, public education and government, are going to be moved to the 1,070 to 1095 tier after this January. We are no longer going to be 8 and 10. For 3 months, we'll have overlapping channels. And I don't know what our exact number is going to be yet. But the reason for that is that the benefit that we won was that our channels and the information about local programs is now going to be available on the interactive program guide. That's the guide that you use with your remote, right, to get information or to DVR to record shows that you want to watch later. It's basically the modern interface with your cable subscription. And right now, if you go to one of our channels now, it just says local, right? You may have tried to do that. It doesn't have any individual information about shows. So what this settlement won for us is that we can pay to put that information on our channels, but in order to do that, we had to have a unique number of channel, because we're 8 and 10. In fact, we're 8 and 10 in White River Junction. You have to have a unique number. So that's why we're being all moved to a PEG neighborhood of that, which will be on basic cable. Not great, but, then there also is going to be one statewide HD channel that Vermont Access Network, our association of stations, will administer. So some of your shows will be viewed in HD by cable viewers in the state. Okay, so that's all you heard here first, folks. I can honestly say that. On a local level, some of you may have read that the Wyndham and Windsor Housing Trust may be purchasing the municipal center.
Wow.
And they're doing a feasibility study right now.
Wow.
In which case our office and facilities and studio would be moved to the basement along with the select board meeting room. This wouldn't take place until 2021, but we have to wait. They'll do a study, then they'll make a decision, something. So it could be down the road, but so all that happened this year. Response to the threats, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I just want to go over what's in the works in terms of what can we do. We are seeking donations from supporters. This is not something we have done in the past, and some of you who are here today may be new donors. Underwriting and sponsorship, we'll be beefing up that program. Production services, this is something we already do, but we'll be adjusting those rates. Producing membership fees, this is a new thing and not something we wanted to do, but members have been paying $10 or $20 for unlimited use of BCTV's facilities and equipment. And we are adjusting that so that people will be paying according to how much they use and the value of what they use. So somebody who checks out a camera a couple of times is going to pay less than somebody who wants to have a weekly studio show, which is the thing that requires the most staff and the most resources. So again, reluctantly we're putting that in place, but it does allow everybody who uses BCTV to pay a little bit. Municipal fees, we have gone to all of our 8 towns and asked for contributions to help support our select board coverage, and that's in place. We negotiated a new contract with Southern Vermont Cable for a slightly higher amount, and I testified on Monday before a legislative committee that is chaired by Wyndham County Senator Becca Ballant, looking for legislative solutions for funding support. So that's in the air, and we don't know what will come with that, but these are all the things that we can do. And I just want to let you know we are doing all of these things. Plus, some great things happened. Yeah! I don't want to, the downer part of this event is over. And did I mention we got stickers? So, okay, here we go. So, good things that happened. We took home 3 Hometown Media Awards. These are national awards given out by the Alliance for Community Media. One of them was for overall excellence in PE&G, that's Public Education and Government, for our budget category. And I'm just going to show you the clip, tiny 10 seconds of each video that we submitted.
And if you're watching on BCTV, hello from the past. Nice to see you. It's pretty good over here. I don't know what it is like right now, but right now, it's pretty good.
After the miles get away. Now that I'm here on the top.
That's another thing, is doing something that you don't think you can actually do.
Something that you don't think you can actually do.
Yeah.
So maybe I should give up on my promo.
The Franklin Farms, David and Mary Ellen Franklin. They are holding the banner. They milked 65 cows in Guilford and
After you calm back down again and you want to start again, you can say, I'm really sorry for what I did that made this escalate the way it did. I'd love to have a better conversation with you. Can we try again?
Master has given Dobby a diploma. Dobby is a free elf. Although, in all seriousness, I'd like to thank my parents and my siblings and the wonderful Lizzie Hubbard.
We think of large-scale assessment as those statewide or national assessments that's given to a large group of students. Primary purpose is to provide feedback on.
The reason I was so excited to be a part of the founding of Landmark College was that I am dyslexic. And I'm also a lot older than most of you students. So I was dyslexic before folks really knew what dyslexia was.
Made a decision to publicly come out as a transgender woman. How has this experience prepared you to be the CEO of Vermont?
When I decided to transition, it was for my children. I had 3 wonderful children. I raised 3 wonderful daughters.
Townsend flip-flops it. 1 year we do the school district first, and then the next year we do the town first. And we do that because some people just come for the school.
Next question. The opioid crisis affects too many families in our town, and the stigma that's associated with it complicates recovery.
All right, so. The rules for that submission, we had to submit 8 minutes of unedited footage for each one of those. Anyway, so we're thrilled. This is the second time we've won this award. The other award that was won this year was for Jennifer Latham's video, How to Identify Japanese Knotweed, that she produced for the Brattleboro Conservation Commission. Laugh all you want, this thing has got more than 50,000 views. Okay. So this one in the category, there she is, Knotweed woman. Best of Instructional and Training. So congrats to her, and here's a little clip of what that.
Driving around southern Vermont, you have probably seen Japanese knotweed, even if you didn't know what it was. In our first video, we told you why it's important to control it. Now, we'll show you how to identify this plant at a glance.
So this is Japanese knotweed.
All right. And the third award was for Derek Jordan's show, The World Fusion Show, which has really taken off over the past 2 years and is now shown by 100 different stations across the country. Derek won this national award for Best Arts, Entertainment and Arts Series. You can imagine the competition.
we share happy and good life. Nyokobo, yeah.
Another great thing that happened this year were some partnerships that really gave us some exposure. This year, Strolling of the Heifers not only was co-hosted by our Lieutenant Governor, David Zuckerman, but it was also live on Vermont PBS. That goes to a multi-country audience, not just multi-state, because it goes all the way from Montreal, the Adirondacks, some of New Hampshire, Western Mass, and all of Vermont. So that was great exposure for us. It just so happened this year, at that parade, there was a climate strike.
Well, these folks are shouting out for help, and I'm not sure what they want us to do.
So the Lieutenant Governor had his work cut out for him that day. Because this protest went on for quite some time, 20 minutes or so. So much so that this video was in Vermont VT Digger the next day. This protest, our video was on VT Digger the next day. So we got exposure some of the ways we planned and some of the ways we didn't plan. The other thing that happened this year that got us some exposure was our second time partnering with USA Nordic to live stream the Harris Hill ski jump. And this goes out on every channel you can think of, Facebook, live stream, YouTube, the channels. And we had, the crew had especially a great time in the production shop. As you can see from Esler's face as he's operating the instant replay machine. Anyway, so this is exciting for us because we get to use the equipment, USA Nordic's cameras and gear, and we bring the person power and make it possible for them to have a multi-camera coverage, which they don't really get to do at other venues when they go out with 1 and 2 people. We bring a crew of 10 people rotating for 2 whole days to cover this amazing event. So a lot of great exposure there. The other great thing about this year was we had a lot of interns. Mike Roth-Stone here got some interest from the reformer about his interning. Vlasta's niece from the Czech Republic came. She's a college student and helped out with the summer camp. I don't know if you saw Zach, who was here from the marina. He's our intern. We had a Hilltop Montessori School kid. Aiden Meyer came back from college to help out. Alex Evans, who you'll be hearing more from, is down there in the corner. And anyway, this interns really help because we have a lot of programs that get recorded, but not necessarily edited. Somebody's going to take a camera, but they don't have the time or the expertise to edit it. And what we can give to interns is some low-stakes editing experience, hands-on. If you can edit it, people can watch it, right? So they really help us out, and they get to practice this skill. We had a ton of content. This is about average for us, 1,200 hours of new local content in a year, 1,300 new shows. That all came out of 2,000 facility uses. That means people checking in or using editing or using the studio. Channel 8 is primarily volunteer-produced content. Channel 10 is primarily staff-produced, and that's a lot of our meetings. YouTube, about 850 views a day. Website, 150 sessions a day. A lot of people just find our videos on YouTube. And, I meant to say, there's a lot more in the annual report. If you would like a copy, it is over there. And it has more of those fun photos that you were looking at before. Finally, we are going to be talking about award winners from the year. But these are the people who produce every year. These are the people, our most valuable producers, we call them our MVPs, and these are people who produce year after year, show after show. Some people get awards, some years, some get them the other years. But these are the people that really make it happen on BCTV. You're going to be seeing a lot of content in the montage video that Brian created, and you're going to be seeing more of the awards clips from this wide variety of producers being recognized. And when you watch the video, even though it's going to go by very quickly, I hope you see what I do, local people using BCTV to share who they are and what they think is important. That's what you see on BCTV 24/7, and it's my privilege to see the community come together every day on our channels. And tonight we salute everyone who makes it possible. And now here's Brian with the video.
I'm Brian. If you don't know me, I'm the production manager at the station. And October 20th is Community Media Day. A lot of the local access stations across the country produce videos. They kind of celebrate what community media is and free speech. So this year we did a video as well. And this one focused on a couple of the things Cor mentions as far as the threats. And you'll hear some of the local state legislators at the state and federal level unprompted talking about this issue. And we just think it's really important that we keep this going because it is a great place for the community to come together and voice their opinions and concerns. So without further ado, here's our video for this year.
We know that so many of our constituents get information from BCTV. It's incredible how many people will stop me on the street and say, I saw that interview or I saw that select board meeting.
What I love about the public access televisions is people feel authorized to get on there and say their piece. They have access to a public forum where their words get disseminated, and it's so core to democracy for people to feel empowered to speak and to be heard. You provide that. It's a way to let people in the community participate in public dialogue. They can do it by watching, but they can also do it by participating. I mean, the opportunities that local people have to speak to their neighbors on public access television is enormous. But the fact that school board meetings or select board meetings are broadcast and then people talk about it, that is really important.
We are in a situation where public access TV stations all around Vermont may lose considerable amount of funding.
There's an assault on the public good, the common. There are certain things that we just as a society have to decide that we share, that we're in it together, and we have to have a system of funding where the objective of the service to the public can be viable. We've just got to have that if we're going to kind of revitalize our democracy. By the way, I've been to a lot of your cable stations. You're not living large. So you do a lot with a little. And I really appreciate that. It's one of the big challenges we have in this country right now. Public community engagement, we need more of, not less of. There has to be some contribution to public access for the purposes of letting the public participate and benefit in the democratic dialogue. And that's what you guys do all around the state.
I'm recording.
BCTV is a treasure in our community, and it's something that a lot of people don't know a lot about. It's all about local power. It's all about getting our voices heard. It's all about hearing our voices, our ideas. It's of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that's what public access TV is all about. So it's really wonderful.
Thank you, Cor. It's always a pleasure to come up here.
I get to present really, when we learned about this award, I raised my hand because I really wanted to give this one out. This is for the Community Partner of the Year. It goes to an organization that uses BCTV tools and services to benefit the community and the organization. This year's award goes to, actually there's no suspense because you already know, it's WTSA Radio. Last winter, BCTV learned that WKVT, the morning show that served as our local news, it was called Green Mountain Mornings, you might have seen it, was suddenly discontinued. And what we had done is we had recorded it twice weekly and for almost 2 years, and then we'd play it on BCTV as Green Mountain Mornings Tonight. We wondered what could we possibly do to replace that show. Well, fortunately, within a month of that cancellation, WTSA staff stepped up and made their weekly morning news with Ian Kelly available on video. So, shortly after Ian uploads it to YouTube, and I hope all of you are listening to Ian in the morning because it's really, morning brew is something to listen to start your day. Shortly after he uploads it to YouTube, we rebroadcast it on Channel 8 at noon and 6 p.m. The 5-minute local news brief is hosted by Ian Kelly with guest appearances by fellow news anchor Tim Johnson. This partnership is an example of a local media collaboration that benefits both organizations and especially the local community. Accepting for WTSA, get ready, is owner Kelly Corbeil, and step on up, station manager Bob Gammon, and Ian Kelly himself.
For WTSA News and for Brattleboro Community Television on your Tuesday, April 2nd, my name is Ian Kelly. Here are some of the stories we're following at this hour. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Marty. And on behalf of WTSA at Four Seasons Media, we want to thank the entire community. We're very humbled by this award, and we want to just take a moment, and I would like to take a moment personally, if I may, to acknowledge all the work you do at BCTV. It's truly astounding when we sit back for a moment and kind of stop everything that we do on a daily basis, because we find that we saw a word on there, content. We're always looking for content. Radio is no different than television, and it's, for me personally, as a fan of BCTV, it's pretty amazing what you do. So I just want to acknowledge CORE, your staff, your volunteers, your board, producers, camera people, technicians. Thank you so much. We at WTSA and Four Seasons Media, we love what we do. We have a passion for it. We also have a passion for where we do it. We love our community. We know we're not a perfect community. We have problems. We have challenges on a daily basis. But we accept those challenges, and again, we have something that we do every day that we love that is of personal significance to us, that if we can create any kind of positive impact in our community, we will want to do that, and we do that on a daily basis. And our partnership with BCTV began in January 2019, and it's beneficial to us because we have a platform that reaches a different, possibly a demographic or different people that may not listen to WTSA. So we appreciate that opportunity. We appreciate that platform. We are excited about the future and the future of this collaboration with BCTV. And we thank you so much. Thank you so much for the award. And thank you so much for supporting WTSA. And I think one thing that we have in terms of core values, core, no pun intended, is the fact that we embrace serving this community, and it's something that we take pride in as we enter our 70th year of serving this community. So we look forward, pardon the pops, we look forward to the next 70 years. Thank you so much. Thank you again, CORE. Thank you to the board. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Alex Brown. So it is my honor to present the Sponsor of the Year Award. And we don't actually usually give a sponsor award, but this year was different. As Cor mentioned earlier, this was the first year that BCTV had to go out to the towns whose meetings we cover to ask for support for filming those meetings. And Karen Emiden of D&K's Jamaica Grocery had been a sponsor for covering the town of Jamaica for years, and is one of a handful of small businesses to support BCTV. When we made the request to Jamaica for support from the town, the select board asked us to petition and gather signatures so that residents could vote for us on town meeting day. That's how town meeting day works. Karen volunteered to take our petition and make it available at her store so that local residents could sign when they stopped in to shop. And our achievement of 100% participation by 8 towns couldn't have happened without her. It is a long way to send a producer up Route 30 to Jamaica, and it's the kind of support that Karen provides that allows us to do that. So thank you, Karen.
Businesses in Jamaica, one of which is the little grocery store on Main Street in the village. And as many of you probably know, it requires a lot to run a small business, and you're there pretty much every day. Luckily, I love it. And by being there all the time, I'm able to get to know the community and get to know everyone. I grew up there, so everyone knows me. And I'm able to be a part of their lives. And I feel that BCTV has become a part of all of our lives in the community. I hear folks coming in all the time talking about what they saw in the select board meetings or what they saw in the school board meetings and some other things. You taped our Howard Coffin Civil War talk and things like that. So it's been really great. BCTV is in their living rooms, on their phones, on their computers, and they all know what's happening because of that. So, thank you very much for this award. I don't know that I did a whole lot to deserve it, but thank you very much.
It is my pleasure to introduce Jim Verzino.
Thank you, Alex. Great to be here. Great to see everybody out. We love having you, and I always love this event. It's like the only time that sort of everyone gets to get together, so it's really wonderful. So it's my honor tonight to do the nonprofit member of the year, and this is a bit unusual because usually there's only one nonprofit that takes this award, but this year there's been a great coalition of 4 nonprofits that have been coming together over the issue of substance abuse. So those are Brattleboro Area Prevention Coalition, Greater Falls Connections, Turning Point of Windham County, and West River Valley Thrives. And volunteers and staff of these organizations use BCTV to achieve their missions through videos, recording events, and other produced items that help reflect the community's interest and teach about addiction, prevention, and response. And many of the videos that were produced were the result of collaborations between these organizations. And we often say that what's on BCTV in a given year kind of reflects our community. And this is definitely one of the most discussed topics this year. You can see it in everything we do. So this really is something that's making a major impact on our community by having this available. I know of many items personally, I'm sure everyone else does too, where you've learned something new on BCTV, either about the subject itself or about some of the individuals in our community that you may have seen somewhere in your day, and now you're learning something new about them, so it's great. So we celebrate these efforts by these producers. Sorry, I need one of those like things. To educate and empower the community on the solutions. So the Brattleboro Area Prevention Coalition and Greater Falls Connections, Reggie Martell, Rolf Parker, Scott Charlin, Molly Nash, Chad Simmons, Turning Point in Windham County, Don Cordone, Cecil McClary, West River Valley Thrives, Nick Plant, Steve Tavalia, Rich Martell, and Helen Bundy. And I think we do not have... Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so will everyone who's here from those organizations please come up?
Very first thing that I feel we had to do at the Brattleboro Police Department years ago was we had to change the culture of our officers.
If you're a resident of an apartment that is not smoke-free, ask your landlord about making the change.
Greater Falls Connections, Brattleboro Area Prevention Coalition, and Springfield Prevention Coalition have free resources for tenants and landlords that will walk you through the process of going smoke-free.
Again, I think we always really need to consider what we're modeling for our kids, even if we're not talking to them about it. Like, how are we presenting ourselves when we're coping with things?
I'm now donning the second pair of goggles, which are an illegal level of impairment.
Well, I thought we might talk about pathways to recovery and how someone might get into one and which ones there might be available.
We value equity, vulnerability, curiosity, and focus on systems change rather than individual choices.
Would anyone like to?
If anybody would like to speak.
Draw straws. You're gonna go? So, I took the reckless act of wearing a green shirt, because now anybody can put any green screen thing on me. But I just wanted to say that Brattleboro is really special for a lot of reasons. It has 2 newspapers, 4 radio stations. And as well as Brattleboro, there's so many places to for people to have a chance to express themselves, and but it's really very well edited video, which really can tell the story that we care about. And of course, what those of us on the stage, are very concerned about is treatment, prevention, and recovery. But there's so many different genres that you can get into with video that make it a really special thing. Documentaries, drama, news, it just goes on and on. So at any rate, I'm just very grateful that BCTV exists, and thank you very much for the award.
Good evening. My name is Cecil McClary. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I'm, along with Don, he had this idea that we would produce a couple of shows that telling you people what that meant. And the outpouring from our community has been important. Everybody in this room has made a difference. We'd like to thank the staff at BCTV and Vlasta and Cora in particular, because they've done a lot of work with us. Thank you.
I'll be brief because I think we're running close on our time. I just mainly wanted to thank BCTV really for providing us an opportunity both to get our message out, but also because the training they provided for producing videos was a great avenue to involve the children at our school. They got really excited to be able to have hands-on experience developing the videos.
All right, and to present the Municipal Partner of the Year is our board member, Leah Goodman.
Hi, I am really happy to be here tonight, and especially for this particular award, because as we know, the press, especially local press, really needs amplification these days, and so do our towns. A lot of our town meetings and select board meetings need a great deal of exposure so that we can keep track of what's going on in our communities. And that's why it's wonderful to present the Municipal Partner of the Year Award to Kathy and Rick Hedgie in the town of Townsend. Here they are in the front. Whoa, no. Hold on. I have a little longer of an introduction for you. They're in the front row. Before this began, I asked them when they moved out here, and they said they moved from New Mexico, I believe, and have been in Townsend for 42 years. The Municipal Partner Award goes to a board or committee that uses BCTV to promote governmental transparency and public engagement. This year's award goes to two people.
Pull this back from you a little bit. Go.
Kathy and Rick Hedgie, who happen to be a married couple and each in their own way have been proponents of the transparency provided by BCTV's video coverage of public meetings. When Vermont's open meeting law was revised in 2014, many small towns, including Townsend, opted to take down their websites rather than to keep up with the new requirements for keeping them updated. But in response, Rick Hedgie created a website of his own called unofficialtownsendvermont.net. It's actually unofficialtownsendvt.net, and everyone should check it out. To make public documents available to residents, along with links to meeting videos. He also does a few other things. In addition, he maintains the listserv and distributes the videos of the select board meetings as soon as he gets them to anyone who joins. And as a result, the Townsend meeting videos always receive between 50 and 100 views, which is a lot for such a small town. He's also known for asking BCTV to cover certain meetings when he thinks some sunshine would elevate the discussion. And he also works with the field staff to help with technical problems, which is always a really good thing. Kathy Hedgie does a wonderful job of making sure that when the videos go up and when they're being done with the videographers from BCTV, that people know they're going to be speaking on video and make sure that everyone present knows that they will be on video if they want to speak. This kind of clarity from a select board chair can be rare, but is extremely helpful. Kathy and Rick Hedgie are here today to accept the Municipal Partner of the Year Award. Thank you so much.
Called meeting to order at 6:25.
Like I said, I just wanted to come up here and say this personally instead of just throwing a letter at you. But
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for all you do and have done in the past as well.
Hi. I still don't really know why I'm here. I just got this video or got this email from CORE and it's like, what? So I'm almost speechless. I've got this little piece of paper in here and I'm not really sure what to say now. So I want to focus on something that nobody else is going to focus on, and that's their video camp. You see the select board meetings and you see the various community productions, but you know where stuff like that starts? It starts with the young folks. As my grandson has been attending since he was eligible, he's been serving as a junior counselor, and he is working with some incredibly fine people, all of whom have been quite helpful and are helping to train the future videographers who are going to turn out the next generation of public videos. So,
Unofficial townsendvermont.net.
So I just sort of wanted to mention that because it's not something that people talk about much. But this is an extremely good program, and it does do a great community service as far as I'm concerned. Thank you all for the awards. Someday I'll figure out why. Her, I know why, but me, I don't.
Where's Jim? Did you come on?
It is you.
Okay.
I am very happy to introduce someone that you all know, our Executive Director, Cora Trowbridge.
Okay, I get to do this one because it's a special sort of insider one, which is every year we present the Volunteer of the Year award, and this year and that is usually given to a volunteer who's gone above and beyond in helping BCTV serve the community. This year we're giving the award to Austin Rice. Who recently became a staff field producer, but who started submitting his own productions back in 2010, was Producer of the Year in 2011, and joined as a volunteer crew member in 2013. Austin spent the last year, also as a volunteer, learning how to direct the Brattleboro Select Board so that he could fill in as an alternate. And then he also spent 2 days at Harris Hill cheerfully operating a camera in the snow at the ski jump. When Jerry Delmonico left the area, Austin took over as producer of the weekly Guilford Community Church services. And on staff now, he's one of our go-tos for multicam concert coverage in some of our more complex projects. So for all those years of persistent producing and volunteering that brought him to where he is now, this award goes to Austin.
Thanks. I don't have a speech prepared or anything, but I'm just thankful to work with such humble, talented, and kind people, and long live BCTV.
And now I'm introducing Bob Gammon, who's here to present the new Producer of the Year award.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here to present the new Producer of the Year award. The new Producer award goes to someone who recently became active at BCTV and either has shown great improvement or has quickly become a competent and perhaps even prolific producer. This year the award goes to Dan Long. Dan has started this year as producer and immediately set out to master his techniques of screen capturing and multi-camera editing for his show Gematria Today. As producer and host, Dan explains the ancient Kabbalistic practice of gematria, way above my pay grade, which is coding numbers into letters to find hidden meaning in words. He's already produced 6 30-minute episodes for BCTV and is on his way to many more. Hopefully Dan is here to accept his award tonight. Perfect.
Gematria or gematria is one of several methods of assigning a numerical value to a Hebrew name, word, or phrase based on its letters. Thanks to BCTV, I had no idea. I don't know if I've ever won a trophy, but thanks. As you can see, well, as maybe most people in this room probably have never heard of gematria, so I felt people in this town needed to know that everything is coded with numbers and letters because the people who rule us are ritually minded. It's hard to explain in a couple minutes, but they love numbers. Just think about September 11th on 9/11. There was an emergency, and the towers, they look like Giant 11. Flight 11 hit one of the towers. They're 110 stories tall, and in numerology, 110 is 11. So there's a clear thing going on with numbers, and I see it every day. And when you see stories in the news or in sports, it's all over. Things that are accentuated in the headlines, it means that there's gematria behind it. And gematria is from Kabbalah, which I'm definitely not an expert on Kabbalah. It's a lifelong study, but it's basically taken from the first book of Kabbalah called the Sefer Yetzirah, or the Book of Formation, when it talks about how God created the world. And Kabbalists believe God created the world and he merged the number and the letter when he created the world. So he did it, he voiced the world, right? He said, let there be light. It's words are letters, letters are numbers. So anyway, BCTV seemed like the perfect place to do it, especially since I didn't have a Mac. And of course I have a Mac now, but I got an email from Core, and I was like, yeah, I should go back to that. Plus I had people that were interested in what I was doing and can reach a higher audience, and the goal is to spread this so people know what's going on when they see Trump say whatever foolish thing he says next. And it's all by the numbers, and why sports teams win, why they lose. It's all entertainment. It's all intertwined. A lot of people think that there's a separation between entertainment and politics. I mean, look at the president. He was a reality TV star, and he's the president. So that should tell you what's going on, really. But anyway, I want to thank everybody at BCTV, Brian for helping me, and everybody else for this award. Thank you so much.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our BCTV Board President, Mr. Chris Lenoir.
Hello again, everybody. Nice to be back up here to give the award for Producer of the Year. This is given to a community producer for outstanding work and commitment to BCTV. I'm really psyched that this goes to a Landmark College student. I work at Landmark College now. Alex Evans, who was was an intern for 3 semesters here at BCTV during his time at Landmark College. As Core mentioned before, we had a lot of interns come through lately, but Alex's energy, attitude, and skill really made him stand out. He selected BCTV in the spring of 2017 as his placement for a class on civic engagement. He was the station manager for Landmark College's student radio station, WLMC. There you go, Eric. Streaming now. And he has a lot of technical knowledge. The project he chose was a mini documentary about BCTV. The clip that we're going to show will have some of that. He came back in fall of 2018 for a more formal internship of 90 hours. He helped direct studio shows such as Here We Are. Wendy, you're still here, right? Yeah. Hi, Wendy. And while he hosted, produced, and edited 20 episodes of his radio show, Talking Nerdy, recorded in Putney at WLMC. Real fun time for pop culture kind of stuff. It's a huge hit with BCTV viewers. Gave him a glimpse into Landmark's gaming culture. Since then, he's graduated. He lives in Portland, Maine. So happy he came back here because he made such a mark on BCTV and the Southern Vermont community. We really appreciate you coming, Alex. Thanks. Come on up here.
In 1976, the town of Brattleboro, Vermont created an advisory board to establish a public access entity.
You can be a camera operator in producing shows like the one set up before us.
Hello, my nerds. You are listening to Talking Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my lovely guests to talk nerdy to me. But in a family-friendly way, because this is a family-friendly show.
If any of you told me that me being part of the radio station, that would lead to a 20-hour internship at a TV station, would lead to me being up here accepting Producer of the Year, I've been like, nah, that ain't me. But apparently it is. And I really don't know what to say. I got an email a couple weeks ago, I'm just like, that happened. And boy, I couldn't be more proud of not just, this award, but like what I've accomplished with the help of a lot of people. But a lot goes to BCTV because they got me not just in the radio waves, they got me on the TV too, which is incredible. And I think It's awesome that they give people like me, some nerd in a basement, quite literally, a nerd in a basement, the opportunity to go on TV and talk about the things I like to talk about, and I will talk about for hours at a time. And while I do know that I could, in fact, talk for 2 hours by myself, I really have to give it to my co-hosts and my mentors and stuff, because they let me do it, and they were helping me do it the whole way, because, you know, again, it wasn't just me in that basement. There was other nerds, too. But I just can't thank everybody enough. It's such an honor.
So our next presenter was supposed to be our board member, Jesse Kreitzer. I don't see Jesse here. I know he is a member of the Town of Marlboro Select Board, and they had a meeting tonight. So it would have been appropriate for him to give this next award, but in his stead, I'm going to do my best to give the award for Series of the Year. That's given to a producer of an outstanding series on BCTV. Outstanding is a great word to describe Meg Mott, who is the person who is doing 2 discussion series. She's a professor of politics at Marlboro College. Janice Shalhoub and M. Richards, who are also both here as well, for the Record video, producing those programs. So we have Debating Our Rights is one program, and Good Clash, The Art of Productive Disagreement, being the other one. And on those, Meg leads discussions with active participation by audience members to identify shared values and encourage healthy debate on contentious topics such as the First Amendment and how free is our speech, the Eighth Amendment, which is cruel and unusual punishment, capital punishment, guns, the abortion debate, all those things that we're all talking about, thinking about, and hearing about every day. Janice and Em worked with Meg to record her presentations at packed houses of engaged audience members. In light of the increasingly polarized political climate, this kind of content reflects the community grappling with the issues of the day and is emblematic of BCTV's mission to promote civic engagement. Please come up and accept your award.
We all knew that if somebody wanted our information, we had no ability to keep it private.
So Daniel's getting at a sense of there's a bunch of different ways where we give up on privacy. And this is where, what are our expectations? If our expectations are we don't have these, we don't have these. And I don't want to sound naive, but really people, if we don't think we have them, we don't have them. Should Vermont pass a 24-hour waiting period before purchasing, sorry for that vague moment, bill on handguns? And we're going to begin with the affirmative. Wow. Thanks, everybody. Can you hear me all right? Am I too close? I'm hoping that Janice and Em will join me up here, because really, there's no way I would be here on my own. It's only because I hate technology. I hate cameras. If you told me I was going to be in a basement with nerds, I'd be somewhere else really fast. The only reason that this happened is because I was giving these talks thanks to Emily Zervis at the Putney Public Library. After the 2016 election, she said, we got to find something that people can talk about in this town because it's so divisive. And we were thinking something around the Constitution. And maybe I can be nerdy about the Constitution, not about technology, not about cameras, not about microphones. So it was only because the second summer we ran them in Putney, Janice was behind the camera. And from there, with Em's help, this thing started to materialize. And I am terrified of all the technology, and I'd be passed out right now, but these 2 women really made it happen for me. So my big thank you is to Janice and Em, who've talked me down from the ceiling around using technology. So really big thanks to you. And I also want to thank Amr Latif, who I drive with back and forth. We had this 40-minute commute, and we're able to talk about all sorts of contentious issues and come up with ways to address them and not run away from them. And I really need to thank my wife, Allison Mott, who, even when she was ill and couldn't look at screens, she made sure that everything I brought forward wasn't too highbrow. This is a problem with the PhD. It tends to corrupt your speech. And Allison Mott, I want to give a big shout out to. Thank you so much. And just one last thing is, Cora asked me, why did I want to put it on BCTV, especially since I'm somebody who's so allergic to technology. And that is because the thing I love about BCTV is it reflects us back to ourselves. Even though I may have been the producer, you got a sense from those shots there that the audience is just as important in what we're producing. And the lovely thing about this series is that Janice and Em both caught what the audience was doing. And then it gets put back on a bigger audience. So I know there's some people who were at some of the series before, and I just love it that it's not just an egghead going blah, 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 but it's us working out these issues together, and everybody gets to see it. So thank you so much, BCTV.
Em and I have really appreciated the opportunity to work with Meg over the past, it's been a year and a half, probably almost 2 years that we started, to produce both the Debating Our Rights and the Good Clash series. Both programs are so appropriate for the current political and social challenges that we're facing these days. And how appropriate that Meg is receiving BCTV's award for Best Series tonight. Before I forget, I would like to thank people who really helped us in our production. Jerry Stockman, who's Associate Technical Director at NEYT. He ran the sound and the lighting during the program. It's really helpful. Debating Our Rights at the Brooks Memorial Library. Clara Charlton, staff person who helped with all the setup and helped us get things going. And Daniel Kasnitz, who provided audio system support. And Allison Mott, who I came up to her one night, like 10 minutes before the program, and I said, can I show you how to run a camera? And can you do it like in 10 minutes? And she's like, I've done a camera before. And she was off and running, and she was my second camera, live camera, for the rest of the programs, and she did an amazing job. Thank you so much. And I'm saving the best for last is the staff of BCTV, Brian, Nolan, Vlasta, Core. They provided technical advice, scheduling assistance, administrative support, and constructive feedback. But most of all, they inspired us throughout the production of both of these series, and I thank you.
Yeah.
I'll talk fast. It has been an amazing experience working with Meg. She really knows her subject inside and out, and she totally engages her audience. She uses slides, she uses props. She has all kinds of questions. She even coordinates her outfits to go with the program. One day she was Machiavelli, another time she was something else. But it was just this amazing experience working with her, something we had not quite done before. She even gave them homework sometimes. I'm going to send you home with some things to think about. Be ready next time. Here's the professor coming out. We have filmed many programs, but this is the first time I've observed some people quite literally on the edge of their seats, totally involved in the program, struggling to wait until it's their turn to ask a question or make a comment. I've had people come up to me during the program and say, I can't wait till this program goes up on BCTV. There was so much stuff happening, and I want to go home and watch it again to see what I missed. And I'm so glad BCTV is filming this. This is so important, especially right now. BCTV's slogan is be creative, be informed, be local. And I'm going to add to that, be energized, be challenged, be encouraged, be inspired, be empowered. Because that's what these programs that Meg did, that's what they do. And the many other programs that appear on BCTV, they do both for us who create the program and for the viewers who watch them. And I invite everyone who might be interested in either supporting or working with this BCTV community to please join, because it is truly an amazing experience. Thank you.
Okay, we've heard that song before. Well, now we've got our found audio for our next video. That was incredible. Thank you, everybody, and to all the award winners who made time to come tonight and be here and speak in front of everybody. Really appreciate it. And now we have come to the time in our night to recognize the People's Choice Award, which is the volunteer-produced videos that had the most views over the 12-month period. And this is, so just the 5 videos that got the top views, created by volunteers, were voted on by anybody. And we were going to just say, as an honorable mention, these are the other top viewed videos that were not in the People's Choice. Just to give you a sense, this includes staff-produced videos. So we have a candidate for Vermont governor. We have Jennifer's video managing Japanese knotweed, also many views. The River Valley Unified School District meeting always gets a lot of views. Here we are with Peter Sully. The Strolling of the Heifers Parade, that's in large part because of that protest. Rap episode 2, and another Meet the Candidate, so I already said that. Okay. Anyway, so that just gives you a sense of what people are watching. And the cash prize is for the winner is provided by this year's sponsor, Mondo Media Works. I'd like to introduce the founder of Mondo, Luke Stafford, who's here tonight to present the award. This is to give to them.
Okay.
This is for you to announce them.
Okay, let's not mess these 2 envelopes up. I don't even know who the winner is. This is like some highly confidential stuff right here.
This is where you're...
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Actually, before I dive into this is a lot of work to put this on, so can we give a round of applause to Core and Blasta and the whole staff? Good job. So I get to present People's Choice, and the nominees are the top 5 most viewed videos. And I want to tell a story about this, and I guess just my own feelings about videos. Like you guys are my people. This is what I like to do, is make videos. I've been doing it since I was 10 years old on my parents' little, shoulder-mounted VHS cam, and I've been doing it professionally at Mondo for 10 years. So it's awesome to be here with my people. And I think what we all have in common is that I think we make videos for ourselves in a sense, right? Like we like doing it, but it's for people to watch it. And that's why we do it, right? And for me as a video maker, I think I can get caught up in the view count, right? And I have some videos that I've made along with my team at Mondo that are huge productions, right? Multiple days of shooting, multiple days of editings, budgets, a lot of project management. In particular, I'm thinking of some videos we produced for Brattleboro Retreat, where we are interviewing people who have gone through addiction, but they found help. People who have uniformed service providers who have gone through trauma, and they've gotten help, and we've told their story. Once they go online, those videos maybe get a couple thousand views. I have another video that I produced, which is my most successful, in quotes, video of all time that has over 1 million views. And that video is me repairing my furnace. I'm serious. That's what it is. I just held up my phone and I talked about how I was replacing my thermocouple on my furnace. I put it up on YouTube and it has over 1 million views. So I think... what's more important? Connecting with 1 million people who maybe saved $100 because they didn't have to call a plumber? Or connecting with, maybe just a handful of people whose lives you changed or maybe even saved a life? And I don't have an answer. It's just something I want us as video makers to think about. And that's what I like about the People's Choice Awards, is that we have the top 5 most viewed videos here, but the people voted on it, right? So what actually connected with people? And that's what I want us all to remember as video makers, is I think that's the goal, right? Connecting with people. So Brian, we've got the nominees. All right, the nominees are...
So this is Japanese knotweed, and we can tell that it's Japanese knotweed by looking at a few physical characteristics. We can look at the leaf, so we're looking at the shape of the leaf, and we can see that it's triangular with a very flat base, and the base is the part of the leaf that's closest to the stem.
Once when I was hospitalized many years ago now, and because I was in a deep depression, and they had an exercise bike, and there was nothing else to do there. I got on the exercise bike and I just rode and rode and rode and rode, and I rode myself out of depression. I got out of there and I never turned back.
We've been taught all Wi-Fi all the time. We've bought into this whole convenience, and there are some great applications for this. In a controlled medical situation, you can use radio frequency radiation to stimulate stem cell growth or bone cell growth. But in this ubiquitous way that we're now, as you said, drenched from our own devices, let alone what the industry's putting outside our homes, our bodies can't catch a break.
I wonder if you could each talk about a little bit about dialogue and debate, because I think that's so interesting.
After we figured out how we want to talk in a group, which was a very important conversation, we had our first dialogue, and it was, we all talked with a lot of respect.
In fact, if you write out September 11th in gematria, September 11th, it equals 77 in this reduction cipher, where everything is reduced down. What are the odds of that happening? Just another coincidence.
The cash prize is not $11. And the winner is... This is so exciting. The winner is... Wait. Did I do it backwards? This envelope right on here says open to announce winner. Nobody ever gave me an award for following directions. And the winner is not Ben Franklin. Okay, here we are, Brattleboro's community talk show.
Hi, everybody. I'm really so appreciative of this award. I wasn't really expecting it. I love the idea that of the 5 nominees for this award are so diverse. And it so speaks to community TV and what BCTV is all about. Derek's show on 5G, which gave us so much information that we didn't know about. Dan Long's on gematria, gem something that we've never heard of, that is totally fascinating. Mary Ellen Copeland with her wellness program. And who knew about Japanese knotweed, right? So I am just really thankful and grateful. I want to give a big thank you to Reverend Nicholas and Dorothy Porter for turning me on to the Jerusalem Peace Builders. This is an extraordinary organization. Both Nicholas and Dorothy founded the Jerusalem Peace Builders some years ago. They get together teens from Israel, Palestine, and America to come together for 2 intensive weeks in West Brattleboro and learn the skills and the experiences that it takes to become peace builders in this world. It's extraordinary, and these kids were fabulous. So I give a big thank you to Shai Lenman and Mohammed Yassin, who are somewhere in the world. And one of the reasons I think that this show got so many views is that it really went globally. And so the word is out. Jerusalem Peace Builders are alive, well, and in action. I want to, of course, thank the core team of Nolan, Core, Brian, and Vlasta. who do so much for all of us. Of course, we wouldn't exist without them. And also, speaking again to the diversity, all of the clips that we saw tonight, the range of shows and programs and voices that we hear, and all we have to do is tune in. All we have to do is go online and see these shows that are all over the place, and it's such a portrait of our community. And in speaking about the Jerusalem Peace Builders, so much of what they do is all about, they're sitting down together, these kids who have been raised in completely different communities, with different politics. I mean, the diversity is incredible. And so I think what Meg is doing, her Good Clash, is such a great example of us coming together and talking about things. And so much of community TV is about the communication, the community, connection, and I think more than anything, sitting down and having conversations. So thank you to Mondo as well. Where's Mondo? Thank you again, Mondo. $100, man, that's all right. And it is a magic number, whether it fits into Dan Long's world or not. So thank you all so much. I am so happy to be doing this show. I can't tell you how happy this show makes me. Seeing new people every week and hearing their stories and being able to sit with them and talk with them and get to know them, and then to let you get to know them. We have 11,000 people or thereabouts in this community, so I think I've got about 9,682 to go. And I am looking forward to getting more and more of all of our diversity. So thank you.
This is the end of our program tonight. I want to thank you all for coming. Producers, we have a mug with your name on it back over there in the corner, a BCTV mug that you will see featured in many of our studio shows. Vlasta, is there anything else I'm forgetting to say? No. Please eat the food, drink the drinks, get the t-shirts, pick up the mugs. Thank you so much for everything you do for BCTV. Oh, group photo of awardees. Eric, yes. Every awardee over there. Thank you very much. And board members, photo.